Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and if you're new here, my name is Lucia, and today I will be telling you guys a story about the time that my math teacher tried to shoot his shot with me. It did not go through. It did. So basically this happened during like my sophomore year transitioning into my junior year. I'm a senior now. So when I was in his class, I was the kind of student who would always show up on time or even early, and I would turn in my assignments in on time as well. When we were doing like class activities, I would always like participate to like the best of my knowledge. I was that type of student. When he came in, I would make it, a point to like say hi or to even ask him like about his day. Like I was, being a nice person and a nice student. And when I was leaving his class, I would always tell him like, hey, like thanks for the lecture, or like, hey, like have a nice day. Like I would always like say something and I would go about my business. So I passed his class, no problem. I passed sophomore year, no problem. So now after passing sophomore year, I went back to Texas because that's where I live. I go to school in Kansas. So I'm in Texas. This is during summer before my junior year starts. And I'm checking my email one day and I see that I have an email from him. So I click on the email and it pretty much like introduces himself, like his name, and then how he was like my former instructor. And then he's asking me like what future plans like I have with like my major and like just career wise, experience wise, all of that. So I email him back and I tell him like my major, like, hey, like I'm a criminal justice major. I really want to look into criminal profiling. I also want to look into business law. And I'm pretty sure I told him about the organizations that I was also involved in as well. So I explain all of that to him, and I tell him that I'm also looking for like an internship program so I can like gain experience, especially before my junior year. So he emails me back and he's like, oh, like I have an internship program, or like I know of an internship program that deals with like data, like statistics, like crime, like everything. So I think that would be, in your interest. So of course I'm like, yes, like that sounds good. Like I would like to talk more in person about this because I'm not in Kansas at this point. And then I tell him like, hey, like I would like to talk in person about this, and he emails me back and he's like, oh, like okay, like do you want to meet on campus, or would you like to go to a restaurant? Feel free to like look me up on Facebook. Here's my phone number, like all that and all that. So at this point I'm still thinking like it's a very professional like conversation. Like he's an internship program, he's my former instructor, he's also dealing with like criminology, criminal justice, all of that. So this is like a professional type of conversation. I'm not thinking anything inappropriate. So I hit him back and I'm like, hey, I'm actually not in Kansas at this point. I'm in Texas. So that's not gonna work out. So then he hits me back and he's like, oh, like I was even thinking of like moving to Austin, Texas, because they saw my resume and they're really impressed with it. So I've been trying to like look for a job. So he tells me like a little bit more about himself and like what he's trying to do like career wise and how he's trying to get his PhD and everything. Like homeboy, well, he's a grown man was smart, okay? Like he was smart. He was a nice grown man, okay? So of course I'm like, wow, like that's so impressive, like that's awesome, and thank you for like telling me about this internship program. Like I'm definitely interested, like everything. And I didn't text him because I just felt like that was heading towards the more inappropriate type of conversations, so I kept it like straight to emailing and stuff like that. And then this man hits me back up and he's like, I'm so glad that you think that about me, like because I told him like everything that he told me was like very impressive about like his career and like what he wants to do, because it was very impressive. Like he's about to get his PhD, everything, like
he's trying to be
I don't even remember the career. I don't even remember the career he was trying to be, but very impressive stuff. So that's what he's referring to. So he emails me back, and this was the last email that like shook me. So he was like, I'm so glad like you think that of me. Imagine how it would be if, you know, we had each other, like pretty much like uplifting one another. And I really like that you're an African woman, like trying to better yourself or something like that. And then he was like, it doesn't help that you have chocolate lips too. Y'all, when I tell you I died. I read the email again just to make sure like I wasn't reading shit wrong. I read the email again, and I was like, this man really just like tried to shoot his shot with me.
He said I had some chocolate lips. I mean, he's not wrong.
But I was like, this man really tried to shoot his shot with me. Like, he had the right idea, but the wrong bitch.
Period. You probably had the right idea, right? But the wrong bitch. Hello.
He had the right idea. And then in the email too, he asked me like what tribe that I was, like my parents are from or whatever. So after reading all of that, reading the entire email, I was like, should I even reply at this point? Cause this man, like, he really has the wrong impression. But I ended up like sending him one final email, and I just told him like the tribe that my parents are from, and then that was it. Like, I didn't even like reply to any other points that he made during that email, because it was like, I'm not about to be your girlfriend or your wife or like whatever you think this is. Like, this is strictly professional. Like, ew, like, no offense, but like that's such like a huge power dynamic. Like, no, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. And guess what? Literally, when I came back on campus, like during my junior year, the very first day, I'm walking down to get my mail, and I see this man walking on the road. Out of all of the sidewalks that I could have taken, out of all the sidewalks that he could have taken, we took the same sidewalk. I ran into this man the very first day back. Like, mind you, like, the last conversation we had was him talking about my chocolate lips, you know, like, and I run into him. And I'm hoping, like, because I look a little different, like I have different braids and stuff, so I'm hoping like, okay, maybe he won't recognize me. Okay, so I tried to like hype myself, but he recognized me, and then he struck up a conversation like, oh, how are you, and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh, like, I'm good. Like, we have like small talk, and then I tell him like, oh, I have like friends that are waiting for me, so I have to like hurry up and go where I have to be and then get back to my friends, just to like end the conversation. I ran into him again at some point too. But that's a story of how my math teacher tried to shoot his shot with me. I hope you enjoyed this story time. Please don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, and don't forget to comment. Like, has this ever happened to y'all? Like, has your teacher ever hit on you? Has your teacher ever been obsessed with you? Like, tell me. I want to know. Let's talk about it. But thank you guys so much. You guys have a great day. Bye.